What's up, y'all? So this is my first live and first time doing a video talking to the camera, other guests. But I wanted to talk about spirituality, monotheism, polytheism, and the two occult or spiritual paths. I'll start off by talking about a book I was just listening to that was written by somebody in Sufism, which is an esoteric branch of Islam. And I kind of enjoyed listening to what he was saying about how they believe Allah is the supreme light. And I've been actually reading the Bible and seeing God in a similar way, even though these past years and even though this channel was based off of the left-hand path, I'm seeing more of the value of both sides, and maybe even how the right-hand path can lead to a more abundant and fulfilling, long-lasting life, whereas the left-hand path, it has its benefits, but it doesn't necessarily emphasize things such as love and being a morally upstanding citizen, things like that. And the right hand path is not necessarily all about being a sheep as the left hand path likes to portray, but coming from the left hand path for already years deep, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite either and act like the left hand path doesn't have its benefits. But to fill in some time for those who don't know about what either path is, the right hand path is more about religions and God and kind of being subservient to God and the rules of religions. And the left hand path is more about not necessarily polytheism, but it contains polytheism and spiritual paths outside of religions, and they tend to be more dark, more satanic, Luciferian, things like that, as I've talked about on my channel before. And I still see some value in those things, and sometimes I even feel like it might be necessary for certain people to dabble in those things. But right now, this past year, I've definitely been more right-hand path. But as the title of the video says, Sykoism, I would possibly like to form my own path with a mix of what I like from everything. But yeah, this year been more right-hand path than the previous years. And one thing that dabbling in the left-hand path has helped me with on the right-hand path is, instead of seeing as left-hand path people like to make fun of, calling God, oh, sky daddy, or like fucking like a master, like a slave master. I don't necessarily see it as that. currently. Um, as I'm right now, I'm reading the Bible, and I've been seeing when they refer to God, I see it as the our collective higher consciousness, if that makes sense. And pretty much when it says things like, if you follow the Lord, he will protect you against enemies and bring you blessings. That's, I feel like the deeper meaning behind that is it trying to say, let me see who's watching right now. Oh shit. I can't even see who's watching, I don't think. But anyways, I feel like the deeper message is trying to say is, if we rise above our lower desires, we will have protection and abundance, which that's true. Now that I'm looking at it like that, makes a lot of sense. Whereas before I saw it more as like, oh, people are just being religious and just being judgmental and things like that. Let me see if I could see any messages on here. I don't think I can. Let me see. Okay. My bad for the pauses. I've been trying to see who's popping in here. This is my first live. If anybody joins and you want me to talk about something, feel free to send a message. But besides the right and left hand path, which I feel like pertains more to the Western philosophies and religions, Eastern philosophy is also something I've been looking into, that I kind of see as more of a foundation for looking into both and being able to coexist and relate to both and accept both, because I see things more in a complementary yin and yang type of way, if that makes sense. I feel like duality and being polarized and ego kind of goes hand in hand. Sometimes both sides of the left and right hand paths think they're killing their ego, but in reality they're just associating themselves more with 50% of the equation, whereas yin and yang, or Taoism or Taoism as it's changed to currently, they believe in both sides being the same thing, just two opposite ends of the same thing, and they complement each other and have to coexist, which I believe that. But also at the same time, I've already I feel like fulfilled my left hand path transformation, and now I want to incorporate the other 50%, the light, and gain abundance. And so far it's been going pretty well. I'm not all put together in life. It's been a rocky road, especially on the left hand path. It's had its ups and downs. I've had my abundant and powerful moments, but I also do feel like a lot of people on the left hand path, they overhype their accomplishments and act like they're so powerful, but a lot of them are not millionaires, billionaires, none of that shit. And not to put it down, I accept and fuck with both sides, but I'm not gonna act like people who are solely left-hand path live very admirable lives. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And also have looked into shamanism a little bit more, even though that's something I've always had interest in and dabbled with here and there, looked up a few videos, but one book I recommend is called Urban Shaman. I'm not familiar with who the author is at this moment, kind of forgot, but that's a very powerful book. It gets into how everything is like electromagnetic energy, and also that the waking world as well as the dream world, they're both dream worlds, and we can change things with our imagination and pretty much our third eye and visualization, meditation. And it gets into how those tools are very vast and can be used in a variety of ways. For example, let's say um, let's say you have car problems, which is somewhere I've been. That right now I'm in my car, and luckily it doesn't have problems. But for those who might be there right now, or they want a car, or their living situation is not the best, a practice from shamanism that we can do no matter what path we're on, which is why I like Taoism and shamanism as kind of like overarching beliefs, whether I'm dabbling in the left or right hand paths. But as I was getting into, a practice we can do is, let's say our car, there's problems with it. We can visualize as if we're in a dream state, and and a practice from it actually too is naming objects. Like you can name your car and be like, what's wrong with you right now, like, and really feel it out and see what else comes up as you meditate and visualize. Maybe you thinking about your car has you like, damn, I need to get a better job. Boom, there's a solution. And then you could meditate on your job, like what can I do related to the job? What skill do I have that maybe I could get a better job? Oh, I like to take pictures. Boom, become a photographer. Two birds with one stone right there. Simple practice. But I think I might just leave this one off on a short note. Y'all let me know feedback and other things y'all want me to talk about. But all right, like, subscribe, comment, follow me on my platforms in the description. Fuck with my IG. I have a channel on there where I be posting knowledge and updates, and even ask for feedback on there if y'all want to give me any. But all right, peace out, y'all.